Kids actually really want boundaries. So they feel safer knowing that they're not in charge of their safety and that nothing they can do can make you waver is really powerful for them. And also, I think that people don't realize that, to give into the boundary to avoid the feeling teaches them that their feeling is either not okay. And I am so afraid of your feeling that I'm going to violate my own boundary to stop your feeling. Or it has the opposite effect of like, if you cry, you're going to get whatever you want. And now it's like now emotion has become manipulative rather than a real expressed emotion. And so having this healthy relationship with it's okay to be told no and it's okay to have feelings about it and I still love you and I'm still holding the boundary, like that's what parents need. That's what kids need.
Yeah, and then the kid doesn't learn to use false emotion just to be manipulative, right? Because I think you train them like, just have some crazy ass emotions to then get what you want, which then is like just such a gnarly way to live life. If I tell you that you're going to transfer that crap to your kid, you probably want to work on it. You clearly want to do the work because you see this bigger point to all of life anyways. So beautiful that you're leaning into that. With that being said, and you've kind of brought up your childhood to some level, you can share whatever you'd like to. But I like to ask my guests about their own dad and ask it in two parts. Is what's something you really appreciated about your dad if your dad was around? And then what's something you wish your dad would have done differently? Again, the whole wish you done differently, I get it. We may not have changed our past, right? Because it made us who we are. But if you were to speak to it, what's something that you wish would have been different or that you are going to do differently?
Yeah. Ultimately, I had really great parents. They were very committed to us and committed to each other and very big hearts, both want to do great in the world. So very service-minded, very traditional backgrounds. My mom grew up on a farm. My dad was raised like middle-class Catholic. So very like gender roles. My mom was stay-at-home mom, 100% of the household, her job. My dad, worked all day, came home and expected dinner to be made and then to, pass out on the couch. Played with us, engaged with us, fixed stuff on the house. But, there was that like pretty big division. Parents fought a lot. They weren't ultimately the right match. They did end up getting divorced after my sister and I left the home and, were never quite the right match for each other, didn't quite have the skills, but cared a lot. He taught me that there's nothing I can't do. I should try to do it. He was a DIY guy. So, if it's broken, you can fix it. There's a way. I've gotten to the point in my life where I don't want to fix it, where I'm like, it's not a good use of my energy to figure out how to fix that thing. So I'm going to pay somebody. But like, I approach everything with like, well, there's a way to do it. And he used to say, I'm capable of doing anything humanly possible. If a human can do it, I can do it. And he would say, sometimes it might take years for me to learn it, but I'm capable of that. If it's not humanly possible. The one thing that maybe he wasn't sure he was capable of was untangling a slinky. It's debatable whether it was humanly possible or not, but the one thing that he gave up on, and from the only thing I remember giving up on was untangling a slinky.
Damn slinkies. Who came up with that?
I know,
those
right?
Things.
Tangles.
Yep.
So, and even then it was like more like he wasn't willing to spend the energy it would take. But we'd be like, can you lift a building? He's like, yeah, I could hire a building jack and I could use this and we could use the hydraulics and I could lift a building. It was this
no problem, unsolvable.
Yeah. There is a powerful role that man can play as a man in their household, with their children, with their partner that is very primal, that is very much in line with who we're meant to be as men, but as fully engaged fathers and husbands.
Yeah, man. Beautiful. Love it. Joe, this has been such a delight getting to know you more. Fun, different than I had expected, which is something that I need more of in my life and I really enjoy. Before I ask my final question, is there anything that we missed? Anything that you would want a new dad, a young dad, a sage dad to hear from you before we go? Anything you didn't share that you would feel like, we needed to touch on this?
Yeah, I'd love to talk a little more about food and feeding. We talked about our products and the value they offer, but figuring out what foods to feed baby can be very challenging and something a dad can play a huge role in. mom breastfeeds and, she does that and you can support her. Dads can support moms in a lot of ways through the breastfeeding. But once it comes time to real food, like you're equal partners in that. And so doing the research or figuring out how to start foods is something dads can do. So, around 6 months is the time that is time to think about solid foods. You don't have to worry about it before then. So if you're listening to this and you got a baby younger than that, just don't even worry about it. Too much other stuff to worry about. No reason to rush it. So babies will start to express interest in food around 6 months, but that's what you're looking for. They want food. They're watching you. They're reaching for it. They need to be able to sit up on their own, just physically, so they can swallow. So they need to be able to sit up, and they need to be showing interest in food. That's kind of like two developmental things. Otherwise, 6-ish months is around the time. Don't rush it. It could be 8 months. No rush for food. But it's actually a lot worse to rush it. Like there's a lot more problems if you start at 4 months and they're not ready than if you wait. So when in doubt, wait. Breast milk, nature's perfect baby food. The foods that you start with should be the most like breast milk.
You made a statement, and I just would like you to maybe make a comment about it. I think as men, clearly it's like we want to fix things. I mean, shoot, I've been married 20 years and I still screw it up when my wife just wants to say something and I'm like, you told me there's this problem, so I'm going to give you a solution or I'm going to fix it. And it's like, dude, backfire every time. They're smart enough to ask if they want help. But anyways, you made a comment about your daughter not trying to fix the feelings. So I think dudes could hear you're clearly very in tune emotionally. You're in tune with your own emotions to an extent, right? You shared some blockages, but clearly more in tune than many. If my daughter is sad or mad, or my son is angry or sad, what's your view, your opinion on like letting them just go figure it out or sit at the dinner table pissed off or whatever, instead of just being like, yo, go to your room, figure this out on your own. We don't give a crap. We just don't want to see you this way, or we got to fix this right now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we were trained on this by a group called Big Little Feelings, which is one of my most favorite toddler resources. It's this really amazing conglomeration of short videos that you can watch all in order. You can search it and you get a little membership. It's like $100 for life for this membership. It's really great value. And they teach some really concrete skills in there about how there's sort of this formula of like, you want the ice cream. I hear you want the ice cream. You're feeling sad that you can't have the ice cream. It makes sense. You want it and you can't have it. That makes sense. You'd feel sad. I hear you that you're sad. It's okay to be sad. They would add, you can have the ice cream after dinner. If there's a way to have the thing they want later or another thing you can add. Whereas you can still have the ice cream, but after dinner. And I hear that you're sad that you can't have it now, over and over again. And you basically do that until they're done. And you stay with them or you hold them, or if they, respond to what they want. This is how you deal with a toddler. My daughter hated that you could have it after. I just had to stop using that one. I just had to be like, you want the ice cream? It sucks. You can't have it now. I hear you. It's sad. It's very sad. I get it. Makes sense to be sad. I don't like it she actually responded a lot better when I'd say, I don't like it when I can't have what I want either. And then sometimes she'd be like, really? What's something you want that you can't have? And so for a long time it was a hot tub. I was like, I really want a hot tub.
You're like, for you to stop crying?
Yeah, right. Now I have a hot tub, so I can't use that one anymore. Now it's a new Tesla. That's my new one now. I was like, I'd love a new Tesla. I cannot justify replacing my existing Tesla with a new Tesla Plus. Like, I can't have it, but I'm kind of sad that I can't have it. So it's like, whatever. But she liked that. That worked well for her to like relating that I could get this. But it's just this validation that the feeling is okay.